This is the New Mexico State Capitol in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It is located right alongside the old Santa Fe Trail, and Santa Fe itself is the oldest capital city in the United States. The original territorial capital was the Palace of the Governors on the Santa Fe Plaza. That building was constructed in 1610, making it the oldest former capitol building in the country. New Mexico's current capitol building is the third newest capitol. The state legislature first met here in 1966. The two more recent capitol buildings are Hawaii's and Florida's. Outside the Capitol, there are several contemporary sculptures related to New Mexico culture, particularly some indigenous groups. That is a bust of Senator Bronson Cutting, who advocated for freedom of the press and against the government's ability to confiscate obscene materials in a 1929 tariff bill. This capitol is also known as the Roundhouse, as it is the only round capitol building in the country. It is designed to resemble the shape of a Zia sun symbol from above. The entrances are the four wings of the sun. While it is a relatively modern building, it includes elements of New Mexico territorial revival and neoclassical styles, making for a very interesting mix. The door handles even have turquoise on them. Here is the spacious rotunda of the Capitol. While there's not a dome up there like many Capitol buildings, there is a great stained glass skylight 60 feet above the air. The stained glass is designed like a native basket weaving, with the blue resembling the sky and the pink resembling the earth. And on the floor of the rotunda is a Zia sun symbol, the same one that's also depicted on the state flag. The walls are lined with New Mexico travertine marble, and there's a podium where the governor and other important state figures will often speak. Lining the fourth floor are the flags of the state's 33 counties. While this Capitol building is unique in a variety of ways, one reason it's particularly well known is because of its art collection. The Capitol Art Foundation began collecting contemporary works of New Mexico artists for display all throughout the building. Sometimes the place seems more like an art gallery than a state capitol. This painting is called Under the Portal of Santa Fe by Elias Rivera. It depicts the original Spanish, then Mexican, then American capital, the Palace of the Governors. And this is the House Gallery. The New Mexico House of Representatives meets in this chamber during their sessions. It is a semicircular chamber that is relatively plain, not nearly as extravagant as many other state capitol legislative chambers. There are 70 members of the House here in New Mexico. New Mexico is and has long been a very culturally diverse territory and state, and the art-heavy influence of the capital certainly represents the multicultural state. Of the over 2 million residents in the fifth largest state, about 47% are of Hispanic ancestry. There are also lots of Native Americans, with 23 tribes, 19 pueblos, as well as the Navajo Nation, Acoma Reservation, and Mescalero Apache Reservation. This one is called The Multicultural Harvest by Gilberto Guzman, a muralist who shows the harvest as a symbol for the creative energy of the human spirit, as well as the diversity of the state. There's a painting of a hanging ristra of red chili peppers. This one is called Pink Number 1 by Noelle Hudson, an expression of grief and anger after her huskies escaped their kennel and killed a bunch of sheep, causing the state government to have to put them down. Paintings and sculptures are abound throughout the rounded hallways and lobby areas of the legislative chambers. This is the Senate Chamber of New Mexico. Now it's almost completely identical to the House Chamber, just on the opposite side. Same walls, chairs, and state seal. There are 42 senators who meet during session in here. Back outside the Senate chamber, there are still more paintings to look at. This one depicting the construction of a church. This is showing what the Santa Fe Plaza might have looked like in the 1800s by Federico M. Vigil. It is a buon fresco, an ancient technique of painting that was used by the indigenous groups here in the Southwest, which involves painting on wet plaster. The hallway throughout this floor to the two legislative chambers around the rotunda does come full circle. Now on the third floor, if you count the basement level, there is a great angle of the rotunda, closer to the stained glass. That is an amazing three-piece landscape. These are some triptych scenes that might have been used in 19th century mission churches. This is a Mexina crucifix made in the early 19th century. And an amazing Puebloan tapestry. There's a view out the window towards the Sangre de Cristos mountains. The artwork surrounds all the hallways on this floor, which mostly includes committee rooms and offices. This is an acrylic woodwork called Nairobi Nights by Garrow and Trajan, a printmaker who clearly uses lots of cubism and constructivism. This is probably my favorite piece here, a buffalo made of recycled junk from a hardware store by Holly Hughes. There is actually symbolism throughout the head, like the pottery shards on the nose which connect the buffalo to the Native Americans. This is a wool tapestry called New Music 8 by Rebecca Bluestone, a visual representation of 20th century music. This is titled Man's Best Friend by John Nieto, a triptych that speaks of the loyalty between man and dog. This is a reredo altar screen made in 1991 based off the wooden reredo altar pieces of the Spanish mission churches, kinda like the big one you can find at San Miguel Chapel, the oldest church in the country, which is only a block down from the old Santa Fe Trail from the Capitol building. I have a video on San Miguel, by the way. There's a sculpture of a cowboy standing for the national anthem at the rodeo. This painting depicts General Stephen Kearny's march from New Mexico to Santa Fe, California during the Mexican-American War. This painting by Willard Kearny portrays the arrival of the railroads in New Mexico, which brought many Easterners to the land of enchantments. This is called The Simple Pleasures of New Mexico, depicting a cowboy on the Charles R. Ranch south of Las Vegas. That is the office of the governor, currently Michelle Lujan Grisham, and I couldn't go in there. So that was the Roundhouse, the New Mexico state capitol. It's a beautiful building with a fantastic art collection. Definitely the most unique Capitol building I visited, but it's definitely worth a visit. Please check out my other state capitol, Santa Fe, and New Mexico videos, and thanks for watching.